The main character was eating his lunch alone, and he was complaining that it was 100% vegan. Suddenly, there was a Reddit post, and someone was sharing a hypnosis app using a suspicious link. The main character doesn't believe in that kind of nonsense, so he ignored the post. After that, the main character came out from his hiding spot, and he accidentally bumped to his crush. His crush was a nice lady, and she apologized to the main character for bouncing to his big tummy. Then his crush spotted a grain of rice on his face, and she picked up that rice and ate the rice. That gave the main character some additional hope for his love story, and his emotions were now overthinking. However, he was a coward in doing a confession, because he was scared of rejection. So, all he can do was imagine that he had powers to make her fall in love with him, and make his dreams into reality. The main character remembered the hypnosis app, so he decided to download the app. During the night, the main character's crush was hypnotized to stay in this place. Then the main character approached her with a very creepy face, and he used the hypnosis app to command her to become his girlfriend. The magic of the hypnosis app was working, but it can only control her body, and she was still mentally conscious. The lady cannot move anymore, and the main character requested for a lips to lips. She cannot control her body, so the main character's wish was granted. After a while, she regained some power to fight back, and disconnected their faces. The main character was a cultural villain, so he continued terrorizing her with the hypnosis. He wanted to see her standard equipment, and she was now showing her Bermuda Triangle. She was against this kind of embarrassing showcase, but her body has a mind of its own. Then the main character was now doing a special inspection procedure, and he was smelling the fresh flower in her paradise. The main character was now giving her a helping hand, and he was able to make her learn water bending. She wanted the main character to stop this event, but the main character continued to produce more water. Then she created the great flooding. After that, the main character wanted to do more exercises. So, he pulled out his legendary sword to threaten his crush. She was complaining because his sword was dirty. Therefore, the main character uses his hypnosis app to command her for some sword cleaning therapy. Her body was now hacked, and it automatically performed the Gulp Gulp 3000 program. Then the sword was now clean and shiny, so it was now ready to slay his crush. The main character was having a difficulty with his illegal entry. So, he uses his hypnosis to make her open up the gates. The main character can now see his future destination, and he fully equipped a stretchable shield for safety purposes before entering the sacred sanctuary. Then the main character forced his entry, and he became her first visitor. She was receiving the primary damage effect, but the main character doesn't care as long as he is satisfied. Then the main character increased his attack speed, so she was generating a very noisy background music. She wanted this unholy activity to be over soon, so the main character gave her an overflowing milkshake. The amount was too much, and the purpose of the safety equipment became useless, because of the overflowing amount. After that, the main character wanted her to ride on his Iron Pegasus. She have no experience being the Iron Pegasus rider, so she requested for the elastic protective item for safety purposes. However, her request was not granted, and she was now bouncing up and down. Then they changed into a different style, and the main character was now clapping behind his crush, while giving her entire cake bakery with some multiple high fives. Suddenly, the main character leveled up his gameplay, because he wanted his crush to feel the enlightenment. Then the main character donated his 100% creamy milkshake, and he was making sure to give her everything. After having tons of bonding moments with her, the cultural villain left like nothing happened. A few days later, and she was now an obedient lady who always complies with the main character's request. Her friends always invite her for lunch, but she always refuses. She cannot ask for help from anyone, and she also tried to run away. However, she always ends up going to the main character. Then she went to the storage room to have a secret meet-up with the main character. The main character turned on his Spotify, and he told her to have lunchtime together. Her eyes generated a droplet of tears, and she was now turning into the dark side. The main character was eating the homemade bento of his crush, and he was complimenting her good cooking. Meanwhile, his crush was eating his meaty barbecue. She was complaining, because there was no sauce added. So, the main character decided to share his special homemade sauce, and he was giving her a very generous amount. In addition, he made her drink everything, because he wanted her to gain some extra calories. After that, it was now the turn of the main character, and he decided to eat her extra fluffy cake. That cake was very unsanitary, but the main character doesn't care, because he was already a pig. Then the main character was inspecting the cake using his fingers, to check for some chocolate fillings. The main character did not find any fillings on her cake. So, he decided that he will give her some milky fillings. Then the main character started baking her cake, and he was also using his musical hypnosis to make her enjoy this baking session. The main character repeatedly kneaded her cake from behind, and he injected an extra thick creamy milk. After that, the baking session was ended, and she was now suffering from too much lactose consumption. Later that day, the main character went home, and he was home alone with his stepsister. This lady was just reading her manga, and she have no idea that the main character was already awakening a new cultural genre. Suddenly, she took a look at the reflection in the mirror, so she noticed the main character's concentrated observation. Then she confronted the main character, and she was calling him disgusting. The main character was making excuses, and he acted like he didn't care about her assets. After that, she continued reading her manga, because she thought that the main character have zero interest rate. However, the main character was actually a demon. The main character told his stepsister that he wanted to show her a music that she might like. She was slightly interested with that music. However, it was a scam, because it was just a cell phone hypnosis.
Bruh.
Then she was now affected by the magical hypnosis app. Therefore, it was now the time for the cultural villain to deliver her punishment. Then she started using verbal abuse to fend off the devil. However, those kinds of harsh words are fuel for the devil's excitement. The main character started unboxing his victim, and he wanted to play Dr. Doctor. Her melon farm was very mid. So, the main character will help her to grow them bigger, by using a professional handling with care techniques. After that, the main character was eating the fresh oyster, and the oyster used salty water blast to protect itself from the predator. Suddenly, the main character realizes that she has not yet graduated. Therefore, he will help her by performing a graduation ceremony today. She was trying to resist the attack of the illegal intruder. However, the main character was equipped with the unholy powers of hypnosis. So, she have no choice but to get hypnotized by his Spotify. Then the hypnosis magic made her into a PP-loving creature, and she was now voluntarily riding on the Iron Pegasus. The main character was now officially an Alabama citizen in Japan, and he was marking that history by donating his creamy milkshake to her. After that, she wanted the bonding session season 2. So, they went to her room for the continuation. Then she was now craving for some clapping exercises. The main character started his workout activities by doing push-ups, because he wanted to lose his belly fats. She doesn't want the main character to keep his title of Calorie King, so she volunteered to accept all his calories in the form of fresh milks. In the next scenario, the main character discovered that the hypnosis app can become more powerful by updating this modern technology magic. So, he decided that he will use that power to clap any woman he wanted. His two mind-controlled subjects were against that idea, because they wanted to solo the main character. The cultural villain is a massive unit, and he definitely needs more ladies to drain his weight through the clapping exercises. Anyways, that's the end of this cultural anime recap. Please be careful when other people want you to look at their phone, who knows that it might be a hypnosis app. By the way, here is your magical hypnosis sauce, and limit thy consumptions to the culturally matured people only, and thank you for watching.